today, and I'm really, really excited because Ethan was actually an intern of mine. And if you've been following the Animals Amplified Facebook page, I have been on a mission to track down every intern that has ever worked with me and figure out where they are and what they're doing, and just keep tabs on them. I actually have like a corkboard mat up above of the map of the United States up above my desk, and there's little pin drops for everyone. And I had lost touch, like we're friends on Facebook, but I had apparently not been paying enough attention, forgotten that Ethan finally finished school and got his first zookeeping job. So why don't you tell us about your job as much as you can and how kind of your path to get there?
Sure. So I was just hired in the past month. I've been down here in South Carolina for about a month now. My position is a full-time hoofstock position. Even though it's a really weird group of animals, it's not completely hoofstock. I get hoofstock, rhino, and pinniped experience. And it's a mix of a lot of my favorite animals. And I've been having a really great time down here. But my interest in animal care kind of started at Busch Gardens. I am one of those Busch Gardens campers. And that was back in high school. And ever since then, I had been pursuing animal care and zookeeping throughout high school and college. I got my first internship my senior year of high school. I went to a really cool high school and I got the entire third quarter off, and I got to use those 3 months to do whatever I wanted as a senior project, and I chose to go to the Belize Zoo. And that was my very first internship. That following summer, I had another internship at the Downtown Aquarium in Denver with you. And then the next summer right after that, I got accepted into college at Otterbein University, majoring in zoo and conservation science. It's a really unique program that works directly with Columbus Zoo, as well as Ohio Wildlife Center and lots of other wildlife-centric and conservation-centric organizations in the area. And with our new interim director, she is kind of branching out to a lot of nearby zoos in bordering states and Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and making lots of connections with different zoos and different research organizations. So it's a very, very cool program. And I just graduated from that this past December. Throughout college, I interned at 3 more different places: Denver Zoo, Montgomery Zoo down in Alabama, and the Indianapolis Zoo in Indiana. And all of that had different animals I was working with, kind of rounding out all of this experience. I didn't want to corner myself into like one niche animal. I wanted to kind of spread myself out, get experience from everywhere, and see kind of where I liked the best. And that got me right to here. I graduated back in December and was very quickly hired on as a full-time keeper down here.
That's so awesome. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So I want to speak just, what do you think made you stand out in some of your internships? And if you don't brag hard enough on yourself, I'll brag on you.
I've kind of, once that you reached out to me to do this, I've been thinking about like what I wanted to say and what kind of, I've just been thinking about this. And one of the things that kind of stood out to me was kind of me. I didn't want to be like a robot through all my internships doing this exactly. I wanted to be me, be present, be there to learn and have fun. And I think that is what kind of landed me all these internships, have built connections with all these great people, and now finally and gotten me this position, is kind of being myself. I'm there to learn, I'm there to have fun, I'm there to create experiences for others, zoo guests, that they don't normally have, because I'm lucky enough to have these experiences every single day. I want to share that with people, and kind of being stuck in a routine is so monotone and boring. I want to stand out and be myself. I don't know if that's a great answer, but like, I feel like being myself and being human and personable has kind of been able to get me where I am today.
Yeah, you like the fun stands out to me. Like we always had a really good time, but at the same time, you busted your butt. Like, and so you worked hard. There was no slacking off or complaining or I don't like this. Like at the aquarium, the interns don't always have the most fun jobs. Like, and they're often stuck doing the same things because there's a limited amount of things that interns are allowed to do. So you get stuck doing the same things over and over. But you would, you know, like I think some people approach that, take their time to get that task done. And because they have all day and who cares, but you would get it done so that you could come accompany us on the other things that we were doing. And then you ask great questions. So I mean, that's what stands out about me, or about you. But I do think the number one thing was we had a lot of fun together. So you were somebody that I wanted to stay in contact with and I wanted to know. And so I think I definitely think you're right on that.
I'm stuck with these people all day. Why not make it a fun time?
Yeah. I think too, the confidence you had a lot of confidence in yourself. And sometimes that's like, it's very scary for interns to be there on their first day with new people that they don't know. Any tips for overcoming that and being able to be yourself?
Yeah, that's a good question. I am very nervous. I don't like meeting new people, so I completely understand. And especially bouncing back and forth across the country, going out of the country for these internships and constantly meeting new people is hard. I get it. I don't like it. But it really is meeting that first person, creating that connection with that first person that opens you up to meeting more people. My current team is amazing. I don't know if they're great. I absolutely love working with them. It's one of my, if not my favorite thing, is going in and being with these people every day. And it's really just opening yourself up to that first person. And whether that's in the interview process, opening yourself up and creating those connections during the interview process, or on your first day there, or give it a few days on your first week there. Once you get that one connection that you're safe space, your safe person, the person you're comfortable with, you're able to then branch out. Hey, I'm safe here. I'll be safe with these people. I'll be happy with these people. I can grow myself and kind of make these connections with other people.
Did you have an internship, and please don't say at what facility if your answer is yes, but did you have an internship where it was harder, like where people weren't nice, or did you run into anyone who was difficult to work with in your internships?
Yeah. Of course, it's kind of hard not to bump into people who you don't necessarily get along with. I guess just knowing that I won't get along with everyone. I know that not everyone's going to like me. I know that I'm not going to like everyone. Just knowing that is kind of enough for me. Like, I don't need to be a people pleaser. I don't need to have everybody on my side or be on everyone's side, and kind of staying flexible. Even though I'm interacting with you on a daily basis, I can still enjoy my day and be happy and work with you and complete a goal.
I like that complete a goal part, because I think oftentimes we get so stuck on like, this person makes me feel miserable, that we forget like what we're actually there for. So I like that. I don't know if you can give an example without getting too specific, but if you think you can, go for it.
Sure. Say that me and this person were assigned to do this meet and greet or this program together, and we both know that we don't get along with each other all that much, but knowing that we have this assignment to do and the priority is the guest safety, the animal safety, our priority isn't our relationship currently, is kind of, I don't know how to say this exactly, but knowing that our common goal is to make this experience for these people the best, the fun and safe and all of that, is kind of what gets you through it. It's that common goal idea, I guess, is that we can both work together, get this done, have fun doing it, while we don't need to be best friends. It would be great if we were, but it's okay. We don't need to like each other as long as we do it professionally, kindly, and make sure the guests and our animals have a great experience and are safe through the entire interaction.
That's awesome. Okay, so to get your current role, because one thing I think you've done well at is like staying in touch with me. So you've done a good job. Like there are many, I can't track down all my previous interns because I don't have a list, and many of them never talk to me again. And so I think that was one of the things that you did really good at. Did that help you get your current job? Like, did one of your connections know someone at your current job? Did that help?
Yeah, especially down in Montgomery, because it's right next door, not right next door, but it's close enough. I'm still in contact with a lot of the keepers and managers down there. And I definitely reached out and was like, hey, have you guys ever been here? Do you guys know anyone? Oh, well, I'm doing my stalking on Facebook from the few names I know here. I see that you have connections.
Help.
Will you talk to them? Will you tell them how great I am? If you're okay with that. Yes, I definitely maybe pulled a few strings.
Yeah, no, don't be shy about that. That is like, to me, that like it is, as a hiring manager, I am investing at least a year, right, of very like intensive training time with you, sometimes longer than that, depending upon the animals and the area. I am moving you, uprooting you, moving you across the country, uprooting your life. Like, the more information I can get that knows that you might be a good fit for my team, or that you're not, that maybe you'll work well with me. Like, there are some people who don't work well with me, and that's absolutely fine, but I'd really like to know it before I make you uproot your whole life and come to work with me and you find out you're miserable. So I think that's what the networking is about, right? It's not like your experience is still going to speak for you. But yeah, that's awesome. Love it. What new skills are you learning and developing in your, answer that, and then I have another
one. One of the biggest that has kind of stood out to me, and that I've always brought with me from internship to internship and now into this job, is my like flexibility, not physically, but like being able to change my mindset in an instant. Animals are unpredictable. My day-to-day job is unpredictable. Giraffes are weird. Giraffes are giraffes. No 2 days in the giraffe barn are the same. So being able to change my mindset, being able to not get frustrated when things don't happen the way I want them to happen, has been key. And I've been able to use that throughout all of my internships. And with that, kind of being in this now, I am a keeper role, I'm no longer an intern role, is kind of time management, figuring out what I have to get done through the day and where can I fit in those fun things that I want to do throughout the day. And it's been difficult. I'm still trying to get through that process of finding out, hey, if I get this done, I can do this. Because I have things that I want to do that I can't necessarily get through because I'm still figuring out how long it takes for me to clean a Babirusa barn by myself. If they're stuck in all night, maybe it's grosser than if they're not stuck in there all night because the weather is great and they're able to go outside. So it's being able to take that, what I've learned before is staying flexible and adding it onto, now I have this whole list of things I have to do. How do I maintain my flexibility while getting all of this done?
Yeah, when it solely rests on your shoulders as a keeper, that's a big shift.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll get it. It's been a month.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. Take my time. It won't happen overnight. It's been a lot of fun figuring out the best ways to do things. And like, as I've been learning, as I've been getting trained in these areas, the first thing that all of my coworkers say to me is, hey, I'm going to teach you this way. You don't have to do it this way. This way works for me. You can do it your way once you get there. No two ways, no two keepers do the same thing exactly the same. And that's okay as long as it reaches that end goal.
That's awesome.
And so I'm still figuring out how I fit Ethan into this department.
Yeah, I love it. My other question was, when did you start applying for jobs? Because you said you graduated in December, you got hired in March. So when did you start applying?
I started applying. Oh, I was applying all through that semester. I have a whole color-coded list and everything of all the places that I applied to, and it's in the 90s, almost 100. I applied to lots of places and got rejected or didn't even hear from a lot of places. And it's knowing that is the expected outcome. I don't know if that's a toxic mindset or what, but knowing that I won't hear back from a lot of places, knowing that I am not the right fit for a lot of places, kind of softens the blow, I guess.
Yeah.
But every single day checking the AZA website, checking the careers websites, ZA websites, whatever, and seeing the new job posting and getting them sent out very quickly is kind of the ways I heard back from as many places that I did. And I didn't just hear back or was offered interviews for this one position. I was offered interviews for 5 positions, I believe, 4 or 5 positions. Some of them seasonal, some of them full-time.
And was this the only one that you were offered the job for, or did you have to make a choice?
I had to make a choice. The first one was a seasonal position. I was offered 3 positions. A seasonal position. That one I was offered as I was leaving school. So I would have like gone right into that position after school. The pay was not right for me to move across the country. It wasn't the best fit for me. I know that I would have had fun there, but it wasn't the right fit for me. And then the position I have now and another position, both full-time, they were both great zoos, and I saw myself in both places, and I had a lot of discussion with my friends and family about which one should I pick. And it all came down to the interview I had. One of the interviews was great. I came out of it feeling completely comfortable with the people I was talking to, my manager, my current manager, and the curator of my department. That kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is finding that one person who I'm comfortable with that will open me up to the rest of the team. That started in that first interview. I was comfortable with them from the start. Whereas my other interview, I came out of that with my anxiety like through the roof. I did not like that interview at all. I was sweating the entire time. I was so nervous. I did not like it. And it came down to that, feeling more comfortable with these people. The answers I got from them, from the questions I asked in that interview, made me so much happier than what I heard from that other one. So it all came down to that little interaction.
That's awesome. What questions did you ask? Do you remember?
Yeah, I asked questions like, what are your goals, short-term and long-term, for this department or the zoo? That was the big one that stood out for me, is that one zoo was like, not really anything. We have a leak in our roof. And one zoo was my current zoo was like, we have this, this, and this. We want to do this and this. And I was like, I like progress. I want to move forward and make things better for my animals, for my coworkers and myself and my guests. And that was the biggest thing that stood out for me, is seeing those goals. And then for my current job, there was a follow-up interview that I got to chat with my current team and kind of pick their brains about what they do every day. And I was able to ask more questions on like an individual level, and like, what are the team's goals? What are they most proud of? What training goals have they gotten to do? What's the coolest thing that they've gotten to do with the rhinos? Because we just got a new herd of rhinos in the past few years. And like seeing how the really cool things that our team is doing and how proud they are of their animals and the things that they get to do kind of really stood out to me.
That's awesome. What was the timing like on those two offers? Because I know that gives a lot of people anxiety.
They were right. I had those interviews were like a week apart.
Okay.
And I heard back from the first place that I didn't want to, that I was offered the position, before I even had my second interview for my current position. And when I heard back, I emailed my curator and I was like, hey, I've got to be honest with you. I just heard back from this position. I don't know what to say, because I really want to be with you guys. I loved the answers I got from you, because I love the conversation that we had. And I'm very excited to be able to talk to this team. Can we move the interview? Is there something that we can do? Because I really enjoyed talking to you guys. And he was like, oh, we can't really move the interview. And I was like, I get it. Busy days, busy schedules, I understand. But because of my honesty of saying, hey, I'm nervous, I don't know what to do, he was able to talk me through his thoughts on the interview process and all of their candidates, and kind of, without tell me where I was and how their thoughts about me and where I kind of stood with them. And it made me a lot more comfortable when I did have to turn down that first offer.
So you turned down the first offer before you had a second offer. You didn't make them wait. I really appreciate that. I've heard lots of people lately who are asking for like a month to decide or 2 weeks to decide, and that puts a
When I,
lot
yeah,
on
when I
your.
was offered that first one, they were like, when would you like to give us your answer? And I was like, can I have a week? And he said, you can have 3 days, 4 days. And I said, cool.
Thank you.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, it's a stressful time that I don't want to relive anytime soon. So I'm glad that you got your spot. You're going to stay there.
I'm very happy with how it turned out. And it wasn't luck, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think it was luck. I think it's how, I don't know if this will come off as being arrogant or whatever, but it's how I interviewed. It's how I felt comfortable. The second I left that interview, I knew that I was most comfortable in that position, and I felt really, really good about that position and those people.
That's so awesome. And I love that you had options, even if it was a stressful time.
Me too. I'm glad I had options. But yeah, I don't want to go back to that anytime soon. I'm okay hanging out here for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, last question. What do you think is the biggest struggle in the zookeeping industry right now?
I think the biggest struggle is, I don't know the best way to say this, but accessibility for internships. The majority, if not, I don't know, going back a few years, I would say all, but now the vast majority of internships are unpaid. Full-time internships are unpaid, and that is not accessible to the vast majority of people. I am lucky, and I come from a place of privilege where I was able to do that, not just once, not just twice, but 5 times. And I am happy that that got me where I am today. But it's not the same for everybody. I think that is the biggest thing that needs to change currently. Not the biggest, but pay your zookeepers and also pay your interns. Coming from I just spent the last 5 years of my life as an intern. My brain is more over there, but giving access or equal opportunities, equal access to everyone who wants to do these internships, who can, because not everyone can just drop everything, move across the country, do a an exhausting full-time position for nothing.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that's something that we need to work on. I'm proud my institution that I'm at now has a paid internship, but because of in order for it to be paid, interns don't get to only do animal care. They have to help in other parts of the park, and that makes it harder for us to hire for our internship because people want that. But we've probably got to figure out the budget and business model of a zoo so that there's more money to go around. I don't know what that will look like in the future, but
that is beyond me. I don't know the first thing about money. I don't know the first thing about running a zoo. That's not my job.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. Well, Ethan, I have probably 1,000 more questions, but I will have to ask them on another day. I was really grateful to see your face and hear your insights, and I'm just so proud of you and excited to see where you go.
Thank you. I promise I'll make my way out to Kansas eventually.
Yes, yes. I know it's not on everyone's hotspot destination location, but we're kind of close to family. So
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's on the drive between school and home,
uh-huh.
but I made that detour up north for North Dakota,
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska. Yep.
I need to stop at Henry Dorley.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Fine. Fine. All right. Well, you have a fantastic rest of your day. Hug a
You
rhino
too.
for me,
I
and
will.
we'll talk again soon. Everyone, thank you
Yes.
so much. Hope you loved hearing from Ethan as much as I did. And we'll be back with our next So You Want to Be a